afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Mike here, out for a drive in the Z06, the first proper driving vlog that we are going to do in this car. But I wanted to talk today about a subject that I have been asked about probably a million or so times over the last week, and that is, what do you do for a living, and are you rich? How do you afford all these cars? And first of all, I only have 2 cars, but I am going to answer that question. But I do want to make a point that I think is very important, so stick around to the end of the video. I want to make a point that what I do for a living is completely and totally irrelevant. So anyway, what do I do for a living? Well, the field in which I work and that I'm educated is finance, and I work for a CFP at a smaller independent financial advising firm. And why I say that and what I mean by that is that we're not a branch location or affiliated with any larger organization like, for instance, Edward Jones. And what we do very simply is we help people invest their money. God, I love that downshift. And our typical client base is usually early to mid 40s and up, so people that are kind of starting to think a little bit more seriously about retirement or nearing retirement age. And it's about investing to ensure a financially secure future, so someone can maintain their lifestyle, basically, so somebody can live a lifestyle that they want to live for years and years down the road. Somebody will come in, talk to them about their personal investment goals, what type of accounts that they should open in order to help meet those goals, and what account best fits them and what they want to do, and then go about developing and managing a portfolio over time. So that's what I do for a living. Very straightforward and very simple. Now, the thing that everybody forgets and nobody seems to ever pay attention to or anything is that my job is only about 1/3 of my income. And everybody says, how could you afford that on this job? Because the truth is, I don't make a whole lot of money. Yeah, I'm rolling through stop signs. I don't make a whole lot of money. I really don't. I don't make anywhere close to 6 figures. Let's just put it that way. Not even close. Not even in the same universe as 6 figures. But my job is only 1/3 of my income. Now, I also invest, which is another 1/3 of my income, of my money on my own on the side. And although I work with investing and with money, what I do on my own time really doesn't have a whole lot to do with my job. So anybody can invest. You don't have to work in finance in order to do that. So that's 1/3 of my income. For instance, Troy, who you've seen on the channel before with the Lamborghini, he's an avid investor as well. And we always go back and forth and have a good time with it. So that's another 1/3 of my income. Now, another big one here that's just happened over the past year, which has allowed me to do this, like the Z06, and I'll talk about that in a second. But you'll notice on the channel that I have a lot more financial freedom as time goes on, and the other big one is YouTube. And I don't know if people are just so used to YouTubers lying to them, which does happen a lot, or what it is, but honestly, if you go to socialblade.com and you look up my channel or anybody else's channel, it will give you a minimum monthly income for that channel and a maximum. So it gives you like the least amount of money that that person is probably making and the absolute most that they possibly could be making. It does that for months and for years as well, and you can look at either one. And as you would assume, if you go in between those 2 numbers, so in between the least and the most, the minimum and the maximum, so somewhere in the average range, if you go in between those 2 numbers, it's pretty close. And I will say that it's pretty accurate. Now, of course, it's not exactly, and it changes every time because it's all based on, views and advertisements and how good your ads and clicks are. To be totally honest with you, and I am being honest, I don't really even know how it works, but I will say that those numbers are relatively accurate. Like, I don't know how you really make money on YouTube. Obviously, it's ads, but I don't know if longer ads equal more money or what it is. I honestly don't know. But I will say that those numbers are relatively accurate. So that's another 1/3 of my income. So it's pretty easy to understand here that it's not like I'm making 10 G's a month from one location, one source. I have a couple grand here, a couple grand here, and a couple grand here. And all of a sudden, you can see how it really adds up and how you can make a lot of money. So I'm not rich. I don't have a six-figure paying job. I don't have, I don't have a ton of money coming in from one location. I really don't. It's a mix of a lot of different things. So very simply, all of that is what I do for a living. And I do include that in that statement because I think a lot of people will hear that term and kind of think, you can only have income from one source. You can only make money from your job. And that's just not the case. It's income from a lot of different sources. And what I said at the beginning of the video is the point that I want to make now. And that is, you look at all the people on my channel. So Nick with the Golf, Nick with the Camaro, and Troy with the Lamborghini. All work in totally different fields. Nick with the Golf is in the Army. Nick with the Camaro works in a steel mill. I'm in finance. And then Troy, of course, the IT guy, has the Lamborghini. But the point is that they all do totally different things. All are in the same age group, early to mid 20s, all live on their own, and all live the type of lifestyle that they want to live with cool cars. And you can see that the job kind of has a little bit to do with it. Obviously, the person who probably makes the most has the Lamborghini, and then it goes up and down from there. But the point is that it's really really not so much about what you do, it's about how you manage your money and having income from more places than just one. So that's the point I want to make. You know, it really doesn't matter what someone does for a living, because I could look at anybody, you know, for instance, let's take Troy for an example. He works in IT. I don't know the first thing about computers, so I can't just be like, oh, he works in IT, therefore, and makes money or appears to make money, therefore I'm going to do that. And that's just not how it works. Like, you know, you could just look at somebody, oh, an NBA player, he's making millions, therefore I will be an NBA player at 5'8". You know, it's just not going to work. Like, you look at anybody who's successful, and what they do for a living really has no bearing on your life whatsoever. It just, unfortunately, I wish it did, it's just not that easy. So what I do for a living in my mind really doesn't matter at all. And you can see that it's not really, it really doesn't matter, because it's a mix of multiple income sources. So, you know, I'm not making a ton of money at my job, but I'm able to live a lifestyle that I want to live, and personally that makes me happy, which is all that matters, by the way. It doesn't matter what you do for a living, what you drive, or what kind of house you have, whatever. As long as you're happy, that's the important thing. So you can do all that, and it really doesn't matter what you do for a living, is the only point that I wanted to make. And to be honest with you guys, oh, yellow Roush Mustang. I was like, what is that? Yellow must be something interesting. Roush Mustang, that's interesting. But anyway, to be honest with you guys, this is probably the last time I'm going to make a video on this subject. I've just done it many times before, and I do enjoy talking about it. You know, when I see other YouTubers being successful and having fun, and other people, like, it genuinely gives me enjoyment. And if I can contribute to that or help in that in even a small way, like, I love that. That's awesome, and I think it's awesome. But what I find is that over time, you know, the people who get it right away, and the people who don't get it will never get it. And it doesn't matter how many times you say it to them or try to explain it, they just don't get it. And that's fine. You know, I could give a shit what people think about me or what they think that they know, and that's great, good for them. But it does, you know, kind of piss me off when I see negativity towards other people, because you can say whatever you want to say about me. I put my stuff on the internet. Everything you can say about me is fair game. But don't get everybody else down, you know, especially a younger audience that is trying to make it on their own and be successful. You know, don't tell them that they can't do something, or don't tell them that they're going to be a failure, and don't tell them that just because your life didn't turn out the way you wanted it to, that they can't do it either. You know, and it's really a shame when you see a much older crowd, you know, telling younger people, like, oh, you're not going to be successful ever. And that is the only time where I look at stuff and I'm just like, man, you really need to evaluate your life a little bit. But, you know, I probably won't make another video about this subject. Oh my God, we got a train. But anyway, now that we are past the good old train crossing, and I was like mid-sentence and I was going to continue recording, but that train was so loud as it drove by, I was like, there's no way any audio is going to get through that. So I figured I would just go ahead and wait until after. But I hope that this video answered some questions that you guys have been having, and I hope that you enjoyed. If you're stopping in for the first time, please subscribe. Take care. Have a great day.